Any other question about, again, I wish we could just do this on ChatGPT, but we can't read about push-ups. There's certain things Google won't help us, neither will YouTube. It's one of those things, you got to be in the environment. Everybody say environment is stronger than willpower. Do you believe that?
Yes.
So there's something called push motivation and there's something called pull motivation. What's the difference?
A force is going away and then you're bringing in.
Yeah, I got to push myself to go to boxing class. I got to push myself, man. I'm going to put my Nikes right there by my bed. I'm going to put, my mouth guard, everything. I'm going to put everything there. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. That's push motivation. Versus pull motivation. Oh, there's a girl in the class that just came in. She just joined the boxing class. And she is one of those baddies. And you know what? Okay, let's go. I'm going to be there early. You guys understand the difference between push motivation and pull motivation, right?
Yes.
So everybody say it one more time. Say it louder. Say, environment is stronger than willpower. Okay, very good. Who had the next question? Anybody had another question about anything about public speaking? Okay.
Sure. How can you overcome the nervousness in public speaking? Some say, the reason you're nervous because you focus on yourself and you should be focused on the audience, sharing the content.
Yeah.
Some people say, a paper clip, something like that. You transfer the energy and stuff like that. Some people say, take a deep breath. A bunch of techniques of it.
Can I wish I could say what's really on my mind. Yeah. That's really what I'm thinking, Yeah, I didn't want to say it because it's on camera. We got some youngsters in the room, but yeah, a bunch of bleep that out. Okay, so yeah, because that stuff doesn't work. Paper clipping your way to kinetic energy, like it all goes out the window when you what? Get clocked in the all that goes out the window. Deep breathing, none of that works. So there is something that do work though. Number one, we want to pretend that every stage is a triangle. Okay, so obviously we have a little bit of a limited space here, but imagine that this is a triangle right here. And on that front line of that triangle, I have 3 lily pads. How many lily pads?
3.
I am now in this lily pad right here. Now notice, what am I doing? I'm pivoting. I can talk to you, I can talk to you, I can talk to you, I can talk to everybody in the room from one side. And then you plant in the middle lily pad. I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here. In fact, don't you see preachers do that? They'll go from the podium and they'll come down to the audience, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody on the stage. Do they usually just stay in one spot like Bambi?
No.
Or Elsa?
No.
They move around a little bit, okay? So we said it earlier. Emotion is energy in motion. The key word is what? Motion, okay? So you want to move on the stage. You want to move. Now, does that mean you're pacing like this? No. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is move over here, move over there. Create some movement so that you have more movement and your emotions will be crystallized so you can work through it. See, here's the secret, guys. The butterflies will never go away. Oh my God, what? I thought they could go away. No, they won't go away, and you don't want them to go away. The day that the butterflies goes away, I'm retiring. I'm going to do something else for my vocation. So I don't want the butterflies to go away. The butterflies keep me alive, guys. You understand? So we don't want the butterflies to go away, but what we want to do is we want to get them to fly in formation. How many people know the difference? We want to control the butterflies, right? So we do that through movement, number one. It's a 2-part answer. Number one is movement, right? Number two is you have to turn off the thinking mind. What do we got to do?
Turn off the thinking mind.
Easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
So when I came here this morning, guys, there was nothing on my mind. I had my Starbucks, and that was it. You know, I had my breakfast. I had 5 eggs. I had my smoked salmon, 2 pieces of wheat toast, my protein shake, and that was it. There was nothing on my mind. I mean, I was listening to Tiesto coming up here, you know. I like to listen to EDM and things like that, and actually a lot of different music. Sometimes I listen to hip hop, but today I was listening to Tiesto, and I came here, and then we just got the camera working, and then I went to the restroom, and then I came here. There's nothing. So right now I'm not thinking at all, like zero thoughts. And here's the cool thing that I bet you didn't think about in this way. I bet you didn't know. Is your mind and your mouth have this weird connection. So what we want to do is we want to lead with our mouth. Lead with our mouth. Just start doing this. Everybody say, I have a $1 million mouthpiece.
$1 million mouthpiece.
And I will move it.
Move it.
Okay, you're gonna move it, you're gonna move it. So move your lips. And here's the interesting thing that happens is when you move your mouth, the mind follows. It autocorrects. You have so much data that you've been picking up for so many years that it just will know to like auto-regulate and give you stuff to say. So we turn off the thinking mind and we're present to the moment and we notice what's around us. And we have, this is what I call the mouth-mind muscle. What is it?
Mind.
It's a bit of a tongue twister. So it's the mouth, mind, yeah, mouth, mind, muscle. We lead with our what?
Mouth.
Yeah. Imagine you're the Energizer Bunny or a lawnmower. And then boom, they let it go. Now you're off. You can't stop. So I want you guys not to get into a confident state, but I want you guys to get into a talkative state. You guys understand the difference? I'm less concerned with you being confident. I'm more concerned with you being competent. How many people understand? Right? And how do we become competent? We get talkative. How do we get talkative? $1 million mouthpiece. Wind it up like this. So lead with your mouth. Turn off the thinking mind. Just know. Be in the moment. See, a lot of people, they have thoughts about, oh, how am I doing? What's on the slides? Like, none of that. I do slides. I do present with slides. But that's more for the audience. Just for them because it's a corporate presentation. So they feel good about it. Not for me. So I don't think at all. It's just, I just trust that something will be given from the universe. Everybody say, I'm going to meet the universe halfway. What does that mean? You just do your part and then trust the universe will provide. It'll do its part always. Okay, so number 1, movement. Number 2, turn off the thinking mind. Start with the mouth. It's a muscle. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
So, 2 questions on that. The movement, how will you translate that into a remote working environment? Because you can't just like move around, walking around. You know, when your audience on the computer, if you move around, they can't see you.
Yes. However, this is what I see with a lot of people that do Zoom calls. They get on the Zoom call. And then they're like, okay, so welcome to today's meeting, and what we're going to do is this. I'm going to go ahead and create movements. I can't move my feet, but can I move other things, right? A lot of people, you'd be surprised, they have a poker face. Okay? So, for public speaking, is poker face good?
No.
So turn off the Lady Gaga, okay? And emote with your face. There's 3 tools to make facial expressions. We got the eyebrows, we got the eyes, and then we have the mouth. Use them. Okay, so how many people would so here's one way to do it. Okay, well, welcome. We're here for a public speaking workshop today. I'm glad you guys are out here on this Zoom call and excited to be here. You know, I know this is a topic that a lot of people, it's very personal to your heart, and that's how a lot of people present on Zoom. Versus, so how many people here would love to become better speakers, better presenters by the time we finish our Zoom session here today? Let me see you guys. Very good, very good. And how many people understand that communication works for those that work hard at it? Let me hear you say aye. Ah, very good, awesome, excellent. You guys are an awesome audience. And so, you know, what I'll do is I'm still gonna play on that character, even on Zoom. Make sense? Yeah. So we can still create movement even remotely. Control the controllables, right?
The second question is when you mentioned turn up your mind, and it makes it easy for some people, but some people, you turn up your mind or question, you don't really know what to say next. Like, you don't have, oh, you turn up your mind, you may not know how to carry on the conversation or whatever you're presenting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's a false belief.
Okay.
Because, see, so I have classes that I put on, these classes, the 12-month program. We have classes every other Saturday from 1 o'clock, we stay till 5. We got classes every other Thursday in Roswell, always in person, always with me, always recorded. You get to take that footage home with you. It's really a really cool experience. Every other Thursday, 6 p.m., we stay till 10. And so it's a half-day training, it happens weekly. And what I prove to the people that actually go a little bit further is I prove to them that they can do a 3-day seminar off the cuff without preparing at all. Zero prep. You could talk for 3 days. In fact, how many people would like to see this demoed?
Sure.
You want to see a demo? Okay. Is it okay if we, to help out other people as well, is it okay if we put this on YouTube on my channel? All right, well, come on up. So, turning off the thinking mind. So, give it up. Big round of applause. Okay. Do me a favor, Ricky. Can you set the bell? Set the bell. I'm not gonna. He's not gonna know how long it's gonna be, but I'm gonna have to know how long it's gonna be. Okay. So. 5 minutes. Okay, he's gonna set the bell. He's gonna set. So, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna start moving your mouth.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna help you along the way. So this is like it's something that will help you to like get present to the moment. And then your only job is gonna be to speak until the bell rings. Okay, and you can start off, almost think of it like Facebook timeline, you know.
Okay.
So I'm originally from here, and I remember growing up, and it's like, you know, years ago, and then what happened next? You know, like take us through like a Facebook timeline type of thing.
Okay.
If that's where you want to go,
Sure.
you know, you might go somewhere totally different. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do our best, forget the rest, and then I'm gonna, like I said, help you along the way as well, if needed. Okay. But let's just see what happens. So, okay. I want you guys to give a very great big round of applause for our next speaker. PT, coming all the way from, where are you from?
I'm from Vietnam.
All the way from Vietnam. And he's got a lot to share. Guys, I want you to put your phones on the notebooks tab. There's going to be some things that he's going to say here. You're going to want to write them down. He's also going to share some of his experience. So, big round of applause. Big Atlanta Public Speaking round of applause for PT, everybody. And start the clock.
That's good. Well, thanks for having me here today. It's a pleasure. So today I would love to talk to you guys about my journey as an immigrant. So when I was, I would say 8, 9 years old, so we migrated to the United States. My parents, they worked extremely extremely hard trying to escape the communists back then during the Vietnam War. We didn't really have that much of money.
Louder.
We
Try
didn't
to.
really have that much of money back then. I remember my parents told me they only had like about $200. We convert from the Vietnamese dong to the U.S. dollar, about $200. And we survived that.
Good facial expressions. Okay, now if I'm going to tell you some stuff, try to ignore me. I'm a pebble in your shoe. But at the same time, like, if you can catch the coaching, catch the coaching. If not, don't worry about it, but try to ignore me. And then bigger gestures. Just think like in front of you right here, you should see your hands move.
Okay.
Think variety is the secret on gestures.
Okay. Yeah, so my parents, they have roughly about $200 to survive the next couple of weeks. Right, that's pretty tough. Imagine the economy today. So, but we did, and
Good.
they worked so hard to put us in school. And just imagine coming from the Vietnam, the
Good.
environment kind of hot, and I remember back then the first location was in New York. Just imagine from the hot environment, and you land on
Good
December
gestures, good.
25th. It's extremely cold in New York.
Move
right?
on stage a little
So,
bit. Explore the lily pads.
And then, I was really, with the whole culture shock, and I love the one thing I remember is a slice of pizza. I remember
Okay,
correctly.
like this one right
And
here.
I remember
One more,
correctly.
right here. Yeah,
It's a cheese,
big. Loud.
pepperoni,
Loud.
pizza, and I never had it before.
Pivot. Talk to them.
It's
Huh?
really
No, stay here.
tasty. It's
So you get
hot.
used to it. And one lily pad right here.
I really enjoy it. Right? I didn't really get to taste the Sprite, the Coca-Cola, but
Okay,
when
all the way
I
here,
was,
all the way to the right.
when
Keep
I-
going.
When I was
Ignore me.
attending the elementary school, so let me tell you guys a funny story. I didn't really tell anybody. I told
Now
my-
ask them questions. So, can you remember back when you were in elementary school? So what we want to do, think of it like this. It's like we're always doing like a bounce pass. There's the I speech,
Okay.
and then there's the we speech,
Okay.
right? So don't talk too much without hearing their voice, right?
Okay.
So, and remember, we gave you some techniques. Questions do what? Questions do what?
Here's mine.
They hook the mind, right? So it's like learn to flip statements into questions, right? Okay, good. You're doing
So
great,
let me
man.
ask you guys this question. Do you guys have any kind of embarrassing story when you were young? Kindergarten, elementary school, right? There's many embarrassed, silly stories.
Raise your hand if you remember some of those
So
stories.
Raise your hand, you remember those stories.
Don't worry, I'm not going to call on you right now. Okay.
So let me share with you guys
Good.
one, silly, embarrassed story when I was fourth grade as a, immigrant to the United States. In Vietnam, we don't really have toilet, right? We don't have that kind of fancy clothes and Gap toilet. So when I, at the fourth grade, I need to go to the restroom. I asked my teacher, hey, can I go to the restroom? And she, remember that little pass.
Good
little,
character voice right there. Good.
Ruler to go to the restroom. So she gave me the ruler as a pass to go to the restroom. And I opened the door.
Good
and I
melody,
see
good
all
melody.
of this fancy device, the toilet and the sink and the room. I don't really know what those are. It's not really the same as what we use in Vietnam. So I don't know which one. Okay, is this for number 2? Is this for number 1? I have no idea. But I do remember is that I really need to go.
Good facial
And
expression.
then I noticed there's nobody in there. So I walked up to the
Good movement on
sink.
stage.
And I used the sink to pee. And I used that for a couple times within the first week. And then when next time I go, a buddy of mine, he go with me, and I use the sink. And he was like, what are you doing? And I'm like,
Good character
"I need to
voices.
pee."
Good.
He's like, well, the pee pot is over here. Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Now that I know how to use the bathroom in the United States. So you kind of see the culture shock between the two countries. And I learned that the hard way. But, it's something to remember when I was in the childhood. So I'm sure you guys have something, not the same, but some kind of similar. So I really love the
Good.
culture in the United States.
Good way to
It's kinda
elaborate,
give me
elaborate.
To study and train. And
All right. Yes. Very good. Excellent. Very good. So that was 5 minutes. Okay. And it was totally unrehearsed. You just came up here. You just did a drill. Now, how many people think with a little bit of practice and technique that he'd be able to speak for 3 days? Trust me, guys. I've proven it before. Okay. He could go on for 3 days. You could do your own 3-day seminar off the dome. That's the punchline. Okay, I could do a 3-day seminar, but you're saying without any prep? Really? Without any kind of like off the cuff? That's what I'm saying.
Cool.
Very good. Give it up for PT, everybody. Phenomenal. And that's what we teach inside our program is how do I do this and how do I elaborate for an entire 3 days or longer. Honestly, it's you could go on and on. At some point, you're going to need to take a lunch break. You know, you might need to do water. You might need to you might get sick of okay, it's been 3 days already and I need sleep. How many people know what I'm talking about? I need a little sleep now because I've been going for 3 days straight. So you could go even longer. You could go ad nauseum. But of course, we have 2-day events, 3-day events. Those are popular. And how many people you've imagined yourself putting on your own event, your own 3-day workshop or 2-day workshop? Anybody imagine that? Even if it's far away, but you imagine it in your mind? Anybody? So imagine that in your mind, that you're actually at your own event, you're putting on your seminar, and there's people there. And imagine that you're totally owning the room and you're just going on and on with all types of interesting content that's coming from your brain and it's transferring to the audience and creating a big difference in their life. Can you see it right now? Can you see that? So that's the power of being able to turn off the thinking mind and learning to trust that I don't have to have anything prepared. That my mind can talk. See, we've been collecting data since the age of 3. Our brains are sponges. They say that a 3-year-old's brain is like that of a genius, right? So we've been collecting all this information. Here's the problem. The problem is we have a mental block. A mental block so that we don't have access to recall all that information. They say we use about 10% of our brain. Have you ever asked yourself the question, what if I could use 12? Anybody ever wondered, what if I could take it a little bit further? I've asked myself that question. And what I'm here to tell you is that you have so much data, personal stories, observational stories, analogies that you've heard, case studies, expert opinions, quotes you've heard. How many people watch podcasts here? You watch podcasts. Okay, so you're like a squirrel. You're just collecting nuts. The problem is, dang, they're locked up. I don't have access to them. And so here's what we help to do inside our classes is we remove that block and we help you to reclaim access to higher thought so that you're present to the moment and you have access to all these things that you've been collecting since you were a kid. Wouldn't that be awesome if you could just walk into a room and you always had stuff to say? And it's not we said it earlier, confidence versus competence. Is a homeless person confident when they're walking up to you asking you for money?
Yeah.
Oh, they sure are. They're very confident. Are they competent? Do you want to listen to them? Do you oh, thank you. Let me grab a chair. Tell me more about how much money you need from me. No, you don't want to listen to them. But they're confident. So sometimes we are confident, but we're not what? We're not competent. My uncle at the Christmas party, after 2 Heinekens and Palinka, Romanian moonshine, oh boy, is he confident. The problem is uncle, excuse me, I'll be right back, but I really won't. So I move somewhere else. So I exit the conversation. So wouldn't it be awesome if you could, for 3 days or longer, keep an audience captivated. And it doesn't always have to be a formal audience. It could be you're the leader of groups at work. It could be you're the leader of groups in your family. How many people would like to have more respect, more influence? Do you think that you're always selling, by the way? Is everybody here in sales? Everybody's in sales. Guys, trust me, we're all in sales. Trust me, we're all in sales. So who would like to have a bigger influence on the people around them? How many people would like to walk into a room and you feel complete social freedom? You feel complete mental freedom. When you walk into that room, you know that you could speak your mind. And you're not thinking at all. You're just being in the moment. Who would like to have that feeling?